Hello and welcome to another episode of $1 Million Media. And with me today I have...
Nile. Give her a moment.
I'm never talking to you again. Katie?
And...
Oh my god.
I'm gonna throw my shoe at you. So hard at your face.
Unpleased to be here, Shelldyn.
And today we are talking about...
Stop!
God.
I will leave.
Yeah.
And today we're talking about musicals, as you could not tell. We're going to be talking about movie musicals, Broadway musicals, whatever the hell Katie might bring up.
I'm a theater major, okay?
I know. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun today, as you can tell. Let's start off with some classics, in my opinion. I'm going to talk about one movie that I have seen and I love, Singin' in the Rain. I really do like this movie. I think it's a very fun, classic movie. I love the dancing sequences. The very famous Singin' in the Rain sequence is really fun. I should have wrote down the name of the actor. But the main actor, he's a famous dancer in movies and singer, so the choreography is amazing. I will say, one really underrated sequence in that movie that not a lot of people talk about because the Singin' in the Rain moment is so big is the Make 'em Laugh scene. It's an entire 6-minute sequence where this guy has to do all of these ridiculously cool dance moves. Just basically say, like, the whole point of theater business is to just, like, make people entertained and, like, have people make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh, that kind of scene. It's so well danced and, like, the choreography is amazing, the staging is awesome, it's so vaudeville in a way, it's so good, and apparently it was so draining on the actor that he needed an entire week to sleep
Makes
and
sense.
off.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was just too much for him to handle, and, like, he had to, like, take a long time off to rest up from that. The movie is about, like, actors moving from the silent era to the sound era of movies. So a lot of the actors were just kind of hired for pretty faces.
Mm-hmm.
So one actress who is trying to move into the sound era with singing and stuff, she can't because she doesn't know how to sing. Her voice is kind of bad. Can't really work through it. So what they do is they basically find this one, like, up-and-coming actress who's a great voice, but, like, she's not getting any auditions and stuff because, again, not a great time for women in Hollywood where it was all about looks and stuff, not about, like, actual personality or, like, performance. So they basically hire her to lip sync and sing for this person by basically having, on day when they're filming these scenes, they just unplug the mic when she sings and say, "Oh, great job, great job, great job," and then they get someone in the recording booth to sing over her lines. It does cause drama between everybody, and, like, this girl wants to go a step beyond and actually be on the screen, while this other chick is just kind of being really bitchy and annoying and everything like that. It's a really fun movie in that. It's also kind of cool to see the behind the scenes of certain movies, especially as someone who's edited with sound before, and the lip syncing nightmare that happens in this movie is really funny to me. And yeah, like, it's just a really fun movie. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Again, it's hard to judge, like, some things just don't age well in movies, like certain jokes, certain lines just don't age well. So always be very careful when you go into these, like, older movies. Yeah, please give Singin' in the Rain a shot. It's like a classic movie that at least, I think you should at least see once, just if you're a film fan, just to say that, like, oh, I've seen classics and stuff. It's really good. One other classic I want to talk about before we kind of get into some more modern stuff is one that I believe me and Katie have seen before, and it's a Christmas tradition in my family.
Yeah.
White Christmas.
Yeah.
I love this film. It's very sweet. The plot revolves around two veterans who have started, like, a tour around America doing, like, singing and dancing on stage. One's better at singing, one's better at dancing.
And they're very famous.
Yeah, they're very famous. And one day, they come across two girls, and they're like, oh, we should try to see if we can get them to come on, like, this little vacation with us. See if we could get them into our show. They're very pretty. They're very talented. They then stop in Maine on the train.
No, I thought it was Vermont.
Someplace somewhat snowy.
Some New England state.
Yeah. some state. But then they stop at a place where their old, what was it, colonel? Or colonel, general, someone who's a higher rank in the military than them, has an inn, and their inn is not doing well. So what they decide to do...
Because there's no snow.
There's no snow. Snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, so they decide to put on a show and bring all these different talents in to have, like, business be drawn in. And, yeah, it's a really sweet movie about just, like, doing something really nice for someone else.
Yeah.
But ultimately, these dudes are kind of horny and do want to get with these girls. And Bing Crosby's really trying to get after this one chick. And his friend and her friend are trying to get them together as
Well,
well.
because they're sisters.
Yes. Oh, that's right.
Well, no, because Bing Crosby's character is all like, I don't want to be hitched. Because,
Oh, that's right.
Cause,
Yeah,
Because
okay.
Danny Kaye's character is like, we should set you up with someone.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
But I think
I'm a career man.
the funniest part that you forgot to mention is the fact that, like, the reason they even start this is Bing Crosby's character was already a performer before the war.
Oh, that's
But
right.
then Danny Kaye's character saves him, and then he guilts him all the time into, like, continuing things, like continuing the act because he broke his arm saving his life.
Yeah,
He's
that's
like,
right.
Fine.
Yeah.
No, seriously, you're right, that is a really funny joke.
It's so funny.
I just remember a lot of the songs in this movie. Like, I love it's such a weird scene in the movie because it doesn't really add much to the plot, but I really love the dance number where it's the one sister, she's getting a yellow dress, and they have that one dance choreography. It's the tap dancing routine.
Yeah, so the only
that
thing,
scene is so cool.
every time I watch anything with that sister in it, all I can think is, wow, she's really skinny. She's like missing 6 ribs at least.
Oh yeah. she's practically an hourglass in a bad way.
Yeah, she's really small.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like a Christmas tradition in my family. My mom loves this movie. I love the. I don't know. It's just a really sweet movie. I can't really say much else because it's a relatively simple plot.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think the plot's that great.
It's not great, but it's like a fun Christmas movie, and like
Yeah.
you just sit down, watch it, and like you just enjoy it. Because they definitely go through like the liar reveal thing, and like you only wanted me for like my talent and nothing else. You didn't really care about the relationship. And I was like, all right, can we just move on to the part where they hook up?
I just really like watching old movies like this, more so looking at the background, because it's really funny looking at like where the backdrop starts and ends. Like you can always see it. It's so funny because that's not just
Yeah.
exclusive to like to the movie musicals. It's like everywhere.
Yeah.
I love looking at it. It's so fun.
Yeah, you definitely could see that. Like, oh yeah, this forest set is really big.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think we're gonna move on to one more classic movie, and you want to talk about Little Shop of Horrors? Oh, we've awakened him.
Yeah, my time has come. So, Little Shop is this. Honestly, it's the show I grew up on. Like, I would watch Little Shop and Hairspray back to back, growing up, and like it was like they're my favorite musicals. So, Little Shop is basically, well, Seymour, who is this like.
Yeah.
He's, I believe he's an orphan, and he's taken in by Mr. Mushnik, which is this owner of this flower shop that is not doing very well. And the love interest, Audrey, is this like little damsel who's getting beat most of the movie by a sociopathic dentist.
Yeah.
Who is-
What?
Yeah, no, it's really weird.
Oh,
I gotta watch
you-
this. No,
you've
I've
never
never
seen
seen
it?
Little Shop of
It's
Horrors.
Oh.
so saying it out loud, it's weirder than it seems when you just watch it.
I only know
Yeah.
about one particular thing.
Which is
The
Audrey
plant?
too?
Yeah.
yeah, the plant.
Yeah.
I know the puppeteering and like all the stuff that went into that.
Oh
Yeah.
no, the actor for the Audrey 2, Levy Stubbs, incredible singer. Like his voice was amazing. When you see it, like that dude can sing, bro. Like, so Seymour kind of as he's walking through Skid Row, which is like this kind of like ghetto, he happens upon this plant, which is at this like Chinese flower shop, and it's from a totally like different planet, and throughout the movie we kind of like get hints that like this plant is carnivorous and prefers human blood, and like this leads to like his first Does he kill the doctor first?
Yeah,
The
I
dentist?
think he kills. Yeah, he kills the dentist. Well, because he loves Audrey.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
he.
No, you're
No,
good. You're
He
good.
kills the competition 1v1. You know.
Yeah. So Seymour doesn't start off
only way to do
malicious. He's
Only
like
one can have one.
his
There can be
character is
only one.
kind of like good natured.
He's also a nerd.
Yeah, very nerdy,
Yeah.
very like
Nerds.
my notebooks like that guy. But
Is
like,
it played by
The guy from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Rick Moranis?
Rick.
Yeah, Rick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Darth Helmet himself.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like through the plant's coercion and like great vocal ability, he convinces Seymour into killing a doctor so he can eat. He just wants food. He doesn't really care.
Yeah, I know. I also know the feed me, Seymour.
Yeah,
Feed me.
he doesn't really care for like it being the dentist. It's just like ends to a means to him. So it's like a very manipulative plant.
Yeah.
Um,
The thing about the musical that I think is so funny is the way that it ends. Because, like.
which ending? Because there's supposedly two.
I think I know about one of the endings. Can I just say it, just in case I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's the one where the plants take over the world.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I
that's
know
the
about.
only thing I know about. I didn't know there was a second ending.
There's one where they killed the plant and like the end, the "Don't Feed the Plant" song just doesn't happen. That's like the good
Oh.
ending, but like the ending everybody wants is when the plants take over.
Well, because it's just so funny to think about.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen like the
CGI of it.
no, the effects, the '80s effects. This is
Yeah.
an '80s movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen like the effects of it. And I'm like, holy crap, that looks kind of cool.
yeah.
But, like, I have no context about what any of this is. I've just seen the ending because it was on the top 10 alternate endings, like most what the fuck alternate endings.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
well,
oh wow.
Because I've seen the movie, but I've also seen the musical, and I think something that's always really interesting is thinking about how they change the puppet throughout the production.
Interesting.
And because, like, it gets bigger as he keeps feeding it,
Mhm.
and so watching it is so, like, fun.
I really want to check it out.
It's
Is
really
it
good.
like a good Halloween movie, or is this like a good?
I think it's an
Anytime,
movie.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good.
What kind of
It's
style?
good music.
What kind of music is it? Like what kind of style? Because like the first two are like very classic, like
It's
vaudeville,
more
Las Vegas kind
contemporary than that.
Definitely more contemporary. I'd say like rock,
rock.
but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
musical, like the
Musical rock, yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
Because, like, it's still very popular for people to use songs from that for auditions, whereas, like,
Yeah.
Singing in the Rain is kind of
I use "Grow for Me" as like a really good like tenor audition song.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A lot of people do Somewhere That's Green, which is Audrey's, like,
Oh my
big
God.
song.
It's a really good song.
It's
Suddenly Seymour.
Suddenly Seymour!
Yes, sir. Like,
So good, so good.
I don't think there are any bad songs in Little Shop.
No.
I don't think so at all.
Well,
Interesting.
and then there's, of course, the dentist who has this whole song about, like, being a psychopathic dentist that, like, basically he takes pleasure in the people having pain, so he doesn't, like, medicate them or anything.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think there's
He
always
medicates
one
himself.
psychotic person who has that one song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I-
he's
like-
not even the villain, he's just a shit dude.
Yeah. He's just a dirtbag.
No, he's not the villain, he's
Oh,
just a shitty
man.
Yeah,
guy.
the villain is the
Man.
plant.
Yeah.
Well, the Broadway version is like comes much later than the movie, so they add another song for the dentist called "Now," or "It's Just the Gas," and that's also a really good like song. It's very like the Mad Hatter, like it's very like that kind of like
Oh.
feeling to it.
like it's just like you
yeah.
kind of take a look inside this person who's like just had like who's like
go down the rabbit hole kind of thing.
his personality is just shaped over like his lack of empathy and just like love for like violence.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and
He's
you
a
like
really bad guy.
yeah.
And then, of course, Audrey's dating him, so that's a conflict.
Oof. Okay. I'll definitely check it out. This sounds like a lot of fun. Is it like a dark comedy?
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm really
Okay.
interested. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. I mean, yeah, a giant plant killing people.
I
get
think,
it, yeah.
and there's always something so fun about a musical that ends with literally the utter destruction of society. Because when people think musicals, they're like, oh, fun, happy, we sing and dance, and then society
Should
just
we like
ends.
put that on a shirt?
Yeah.
Something funny about musicals, they just
End horribly.
Yeah. Because I can think of a couple where, like, there's not a happy ending.
I have one that you just guys reminded me of that I kind of want to talk about that I like. Sweeney Todd.
Ooh.
I don't like Sweeny Todd.
You don't like Sweeny? Well, I mean, the
re-
Johnny Depp version is kind of like, eh.
That's the one I like.
But like, if you watch like the musical, like the
I'll-
Broadway, it's like the singers.
I'm gonna come at this through the Johnny Depp version because I actually do like that version.
Mm.
I don't
it's
mind
good
it.
cinematically.
It's,
He's not a good like Sweeny Todd vocally though.
that's true. I like the music. Like I like My Friends. That's a
Yeah.
good song. I like the.
They did shoot My Friends very well.
Yeah, I
That
like
and, like
that.
the like scenes with the furnace at the end.
Oh, that's good too.
Those are
I was also gonna say like I like the shaving contest. Like
The
that I
Pretty
like
Women
the,
or the guy before it who's selling like the snake oil or whatever.
the snake oil guy.
Okay.
That's a fun scene. I like watching that scene because like I like the competition and I also like the like the rhythm of it a bit. Pretty
Sondheim's a
Women.
really good composer.
Pretty Women. That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
fun one too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just am not a big fan of the younger people in it. Like the whole is it Anna? His Sweeney Todd's daughter that's taken by the judge.
Oh,
What's
Joanna?
Joanna. I'm not a big fan of that whole subplot in this movie.
Yeah.
But I still really like the movie. I think it's like Tim Burton definitely puts his Tim Burtonisms that I think really help for a story like this.
See, that's what I think of Big Fish.
Oh,
What's Big
fish.
Fish?
Big Fish is really
You don't know
good.
what Big Fish is?
No,
That's
it's
like-
not a musical, but
No, it is a musical.
Really?
Yeah,
It was
it's
made
like
into a musical.
Big Fish is like the musical for high schools. Like it's probably number 9.
we're talking. Okay, you're thinking about the stage musical,
Yes.
not movie.
Yeah,
right,
I'm
but
thinking-
it is because what I'm saying is like there's a big resurgence of movies being turned into musicals.
Yeah.
And that's what Big Fish is. And so
I would like to see that musical, but
it's really good.
I already love Big Fish.
Yeah.
That's a movie you like want to watch with someone like one on one. I don't think it's like a good like get the friends together and
Yeah,
like
no,
watch
it's
it
not.
because that's a movie where like you might
It gets
cry.
real. It gets kind of real.
It's not like a Black Panther cry. It's
Dude,
more like
the
a
musical
I miss my
gets
dad
real.
cry.
Damn.
uh,
I'm
No,
just
it's-
saying that's what I think of like when I think of like Tim Burton putting his
musical.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll just going back to Sweeney Todd. I just like the movie.
Mm.
Do you want to talk about the stage play? Anything?
It's basically the same. It's just like the music,
It's
like
a bit-
it's just a lot better because it's like by
Actual singers.
yeah.
I know Johnny Depp knows how to sing. I mean, he has a band,
Yeah,
but I don't
That's
know.
not where his like.
It's
his
not his
greatest
kind of
talent
music.
lies.
It's a very different style of music.
And
Than,
it's
Yeah.
also Johnny Depp's like more of a tenor, and
yeah.
Sweeney Todd's more of like a low baritone.
Okay.
So
Mm.
Interesting. All right. I mean,
I just don't like the plot. My roommate doesn't like musicals, but she likes Sweeny Todd.
re-
So I don't know
all
what
right.
that says about
What about the
me.
plot don't you like? I'm really curious.
It's
I'm,
more that like it makes me feel icky,
I think that's the point.
and I don't want to watch it because of that.
All right. So it's just a taste thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like if I'm gonna watch something where people are being murdered, I would rather it be like the murderer is inherently the bad guy, not like a weird anti-hero type of thing.
So you don't like the vigilante thing?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't like it.
you could
Okay.
paint him as a villain if you wanted to. It wouldn't be that hard for you.
Yeah,
to
it's
do
not that hard.
I know.
Because like I think of him as like a main character that is a villain. Like I
know,
get where he's.
I don't like that either.
So you don't like rooting for the villain?
No, I don't like main character villains. So, like, I don't like the Joker. I don't like watching, like, 2 hours worth of a shitty person be the main character.
All right.
That's
I mean,
fair.
I get it.
That's fair.
I like character studies, and I do think that Sweeney Todd could be seen as like a character study of like a really weird character study, but like
no,
none
it's
of
totally a character study, but it's just not my cup of tea.
yeah, that's fair.
Like,
It's
piece
a
of
good
music.
movie.
I have
Like-
no problem with people not liking Joker for like personal reasons, but you kind of have to admit like I don't know, like it's just a really well crafted movie. Katie wants to talk about I'm doing a movie now, like West Side Story. Now, which version of West Side Story do you want to talk
Yes. Because I...
about? All right.
Okay, because the thing is that the original West Side Story and the West Side Story remake aren't exactly the same. So the original, for starters, if you don't know the plot of West Side Story, it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet-esque type of story where you have the Jets and the Sharks.
Mhm.
And the Jets are a bunch of like lower class white boys in this kind of rougher neighborhood in New York City. And then the Sharks are Puerto Rican immigrants, like pretty fresh into America. And so race and like race relations is a big issue within this movie.
Mhm.
But the thing about the original is since it came out in the 50s, there weren't any Puerto Ricans in the movie.
Ah,
I was about to say.
yeah, I was gonna say.
The only Puerto Rican actually in the movie was Rita Moreno, and she didn't even play the main character. Natalie Wood played the main character, who, if you don't know, is not Puerto Rican. She's Russian. and so they all just have this like horrible like orangey makeup on them.
Oh.
They even put the same like orangey brown makeup on Rita Moreno, and Rita Moreno was like, "I am Puerto Rican. I don't need this." And they were like, "No, we need to make you all look the same." She's like, "We don't all look the same." And so like, while I appreciate the original for what it is and like what it does, it's kind of weird to watch now. But it's really good. It's just one of those like Romeo and Juliet type of retellings.
All right.
Okay, so another Romeo.
See, that's the thing about these classic movies. Again, as I say, like the more you go back, the more like, ooh, like,
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like West Side Story needs to be appreciated for the fact like it still tried to do something different in a time when different wasn't that common. Because like the Puerto Rican people aren't made to be the joke of the movie, or like inherently the villains.
Mhm.
Like it's a movie where the villain is circumstance and racism.
Ah.
So like if anything,
So it's not a physical being.
yeah, like
Oh.
there's no like, you know, this person is wronger than this. Well, Riff is wronger because he's the most racist, but like other than that, there's no one that's like, this is the guy that's the problem and he's causing this. It's
yeah,
like
it is like again, you
Yeah.
saying what you just said about like the Romeo and Juliet thing. It's not really. There's just this underlying hatred between the two groups.
Yeah.
But unlike Romeo and Juliet, where it's like a class or like a family squabble, it's an actual like systematic social thing that's
Yeah.
causing these two people who are pretty much in the same living situation,
yeah, they're in the same like class situation, but like inherently also
coming at it from different angles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
So what about the new one that you like
Well-
better? Well, besides, I'm pretty sure they casted actual Puerto Rican actors.
Yeah, so they cast. Well, okay, there's not as many Puerto Ricans as there should be, but there are at least Latino and Afro-Latino people in it,
Mhm.
rather than just white people in shitty makeup.
Yeah.
And
Putting on a Latin face or
the
whatever.
lead who plays Maria is phenomenal. So basically,
Okay.
she auditioned like day one. right?
Rachel Ziegler?
Yeah, Rachel Ziegler. And she was like 17, you know, basically our age, right? Because this was a couple years back before the pandemic. I think she's like a year older than me, maybe two. So
Crazy.
she auditions day one, and Spielberg sees her, and he's like, wow, she's great. So we gotta find whoever's gonna top that. And they don't. They find no one who tops that. This 17-year-old girl comes in with no experience, like, on the screen, right? She's been in musicals and things like that,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
she's not been,
Like-
on...
Most likely like high school stuff.
Yeah, like, this is her first movie
Wow.
ever,
Yeah,
right?
21 years old.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. That's crazy when I think that actors are my age.
Well, and at
Right.
the time, she was...
That's scary.
she
That's
was in a
scary.
production
That's
of
insane
Shrek
to
at
think
the
about.
time.
Like how.
No.
And
Who?
so-
What version? Who's she?
She was Fiona. And so...
Oh, I can see that.
And so, what's his face, who played Tony, who I don't like as a person, but whatever.
Anson.
Anson Elgort
Yeah.
goes and sees it, and he could just hear everyone in the audience whispering about how, because they had just announced that she was cast as Maria, and they're like, oh my god. Like,
you don't like
everybody's,
Anson?
yeah, everybody's whispering about
There's
it.
There's some.
There's. Do you want to talk about the Ansel
Yeah.
Elgort stuff?
So, Ansel
Alright.
Elgort
Alright,
has...
I just. Alright, before I say anything, I just liked him for Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Phenomenal movie. I'm sorry, I'm a car guy.
You can like a movie. You just because like there's a lot of people that work on a movie, and
Yeah,
just because
exactly.
one.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Because you can also say like for Baby Driver, Kevin Spacey's in that too. So like just because
Yes.
two bad eggs doesn't make the
I don't
other.
dislike every movie that has ever been made by a sexual assaulter. Like,
No. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I still like X-Men, but
Yeah.
fuck the guy who directed them.
fuck Harvey Weinstein every day, all
Oh
day.
yeah. Like
Wow.
think about that. Like how many
Alright.
movies he has his dirty
Um,
fingers in.
So, but yeah, Ansel Elgort
Movies, not people.
had sex with a minor, and so
Just
it
the
just wasn't.
just the adjective
Oh,
of dirty.
why Ansel?
I
He's
know.
so cool.
But okay, let's
Not the guy from The Fault in Our Stars.
go.
And he was like friends with Logic, and I like Logic, so it was
Oh, he
like
was?
another, yeah, he's friends with Logic.
That was a friendship I didn't think would be the
Logic's
case.
a funny guy. So
New
let's
girl
ignore Ansel Elgort's shitty
Yeah, let's
past.
go back. Let's go back to
Let's go back to the
He's
movie.
Yeah,
bad.
sorry. Continue.
He's just bad.
In the movie?
He's so bad.
Really?
Oh, really?
Because he's like, okay, so he's ideally a good Tony, right? Like, he looks like the boy. But the thing is that Ansel Elgort's boy next door phase ended like 3-4 years ago.
Do you think pre or post Baby Driver?
Sounds like post.
So you
Yeah.
you said you think this movie should have come out when he was still like that
You know,
idol
yeah.
during like the Fault in Our Stars
Very
phase.
much Fault in Our- yeah.
So, and then when he did Baby Driver, everybody was
That
like,
was
"Oh,
kinda
now
his-
he's
that was-
like
that was his peak.
he
Yeah.
peaked," and then like, it's fine.
And so he's just
I
not that
could see
boy
that
next
being
door
his
peak.
anymore.
Yeah,
but
that was
also,
his
like, vocally, I just don't think he was there.
Okay.
Especially when you're looking at a 17-year-old who got cast by Spielberg.
Purely because of her.
And then, like, several actual Broadway performers. Because you have Mike Feist, who was in Dear Evan Hansen. You have Ariana DeBose, who, like, just won so many awards, like Tonys and Oscar. She won an Oscar.
She won the
for
Oscar
her
for this movie.
role in this, which is so funny because Rita Moreno won an Oscar for the same role.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about.
Good for her.
Did she
And-
present the award? Oh no, that would kind of be
No.
giving it away, wouldn't it?
And then I can't remember his name.
I award this award.
No, I mean
Oh.
like the original. You flip them off at the same
to
time.
me.
Oh, look at that! It's me.
Oh, crazy how that works.
But and then the guy who played Bernardo, I don't remember his name, but he was like on Broadway when he was like a teenager, like 13, 14, and then he enlisted in the army. Like, he won a Tony and then just enlisted in the army and then stopped, and he was like, what if I went back to Broadway? And then he got on to West Side Story. So,
wow.
and it's
Wow,
just,
alright.
there's so many, like, actual Broadway people
So
in
going
it.
to the try to go into the army to get into Broadway.
And then the
That's
people,
all it takes.
the people in,
Did you just
like,
threaten the
Army's regiment
auditioners?
didn't know.
Like,
No one knew that
I've
he was on
seen
Broadway.
shit.
Yeah.
I've seen shit you
Yeah.
don't want to know.
But I
Just
just,
give them the
I thought it was a
crazy eyes.
beautiful
Your phone's
movie.
about to fall.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
No, I got you.
I thought it was a really, really good movie, and Rita Moreno was in it too, which was kind of nice.
Did she play like a grandmother character?
Yeah,
or something?
she kind of, because in the original,
I like it when they can do that. with certain actors.
because in the original, Doc is like this guy who owns the local grocery store or pharmacy type of thing,
Mhm.
which is like their hangout. And then in this, they're basically presenting her as Doc's wife, and he's already passed away. And so then
all right.
it also offers that counter of like, see, it can work out between a white man and a Puerto Rican woman because
Okay.
they worked out. But then for Tony and Maria, that's not really the case.
Uh,
And then at the end, there's just such this beautiful line of like, okay, so spoiler, but also this is like a 50-year-old story.
that I haven't
And
seen.
And it's inspired by Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, hold on.
So,
Proceed.
okay. So Maria, this whole time, there's this guy that her brother wants to set her up with, and he like really looks up to his brother, and he ends up dying in a like knife fight between him and Riff. Riff also ends up dying. They're basically your like
Oh, I see where this is going.
yeah. And so the guy
I know it.
who was with Maria, but obviously she doesn't love him, she loves Tony, kills Tony, and then Maria takes the gun and she's pointing it. She's like, how many bullets are left? How many of you can I get and still have one left for me? And she says, because now I have room for hate. And this whole time, like, Maria was just this character who didn't hate, and she didn't have that in her. And
Oh,
it's
shut
so good. And then the Jets and the Sharks come together, and they lift up Tony's body and carry him away.
Kind of lost me there.
You just have to
So did
see
she
it.
kill herself?
No,
Okay.
because
She just had an outburst.
Okay.
Yeah, because they
Okay,
like,
because
stop
you said Romeo and Juliet. I was like, first thing I thought, I was like, oh, they're about to kill themselves.
Yeah.
because she tries to. She's like, I'm gonna get all of you and,
And
then
leave
take
one,
myself.
and then take myself out.
But then she doesn't. They stop her, and then they take away Tony's body, and you know.
Okay.
And it's
Do
another
it.
one of those stories that happens within the span of like 3 days.
Oh.
Damn,
Yeah.
it's one of those stories.
Yeah,
Alright.
well, of course. And so when they're
'Cause
like
love
we're
happens
teenagers,
fast.
we're in love.
Man, if only.
If only.
But it's You just gotta
Welcome to
ignore
sad
that,
boy
'cause it's just
hours.
amazing. And then Mike
Screw that,
Price
I'm
was
gonna
just so good.
play
in
Smash
this
Bros
movie.
after this.
Yeah.
I'll be smashing. Brother. Wait.
What?
Yeah.
That's West Side Story.
Since we did talk about some, a semi-modern, but it is a remake, how about we talk about, like, some modern, like, Broadway and also musical movies? Because I do, alright, we're going to talk about Greatest Showman now. I actually do like this movie. I will say, I understand that it is not accurate at all to the real P.T. Barnum.
He was a shit dude.
He was a shit dude who was exploiting people. That's pretty much it.
It's basically fiction with his name attached.
Yeah, it is. And, like, I kind of accept that because it's like, now, is it accurate? No. Is it a fun movie? Yes.
But Zendaya kills, so...
I was going to say, she does have my favorite song.
I do listen to some Zendaya.
I like Rewrite the Stars.
So
she makes songs. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta
You
go.
didn't know Zendaya makes music? You've never heard of Replay?
Bro, she was on Shake It Off. Wait, what was it? Like Shake It Off?
Shake it up. Yeah,
She was on Shake It Off on Disney.
Shake It Up.
Up?
Yeah, Shake It Up.
Oh.
I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either. I just knew it.
He's
But
a
yeah,
music
I like the movie. It's pretty much just like an origin story for like the circus and like P.T. Barnum.
Yeah.
It has Hugh Jackman, who's like,
I love Hugh Jackman.
I love him. Like, he's my favorite actor of all time. Better.
He just is so multi-talented.
He is
Because
like,
he's been on Broadway.
because like he can go from like the badassness of Wolverine,
Mhm.
and like Logan. I love Logan. Ironically, this movie came out the same year as Logan, so yeah, like March, Logan came out. November, Greatest Showman came out, and you got to see the range this guy has, and like he kind of plays the dickish nature for like a bit until they do the whole like redemption arc for him, and like, oh no, it's always about the circus and not about that one girl and about being famous and all that shit. I don't know. It's a fun movie. I love the music in it.
I mean, there was this guy in my class once who was very much, like, not a musical guy. Like, definitely probably made fun of me for being a theater type of guy.
I
And
do.
one day we're in class, and we're, like, doing work time, and he's sitting behind me, and I could just hear him, like, whisper singing A Million Dreams. And I turn around, and I'm like, are you singing The Greatest Showman right now? And he's like, yeah, it's a good movie. I'm like, okay.
he had to put on that defensive like, I'm a
Because
dude.
dead ass, bro. I one time I said I liked Pokemon in front of a couple individuals, and I almost got tested.
What?
I was, yeah, they were like, "You like Pokemon?" I'm like,
Yes. I like fucking Pokemon.
He's like, yeah.
You like Pokemon?
What are
not
you gonna
fucking
Pikachu about
Pokemon.
it?
Yeah, I was like, yeah. I fuck
Yes.
with Pikachu. What you gonna do about it?
like, I like Pokemon. Say,
Not
hey,
fucking Pokemon.
I caught this little punny.
There is,
I gotta go.
All right.
I gotta go.
Bye now.
Intramurals.
um,
Thank you for having me.
No problem. He gone.
I'm gone.
So yeah, The Greatest Showman. Really good movie. It has really good costuming. Also.
Yes.
Really good.
It also like Yahya Abdul-Mateen II is in this movie as like a background character, and like not a lot of people know who that is, but he's like a really good actor. He's been in the Watchmen TV show. He's Black Manta. He's in the Trial of Chicago 7. He's a great actor, but like he is such like a bit role in this movie.
Oh, because is he the brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like kept thinking that the brother was going to be more important. And
Yeah.
It just wasn't.
Because also he's the casting.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, when are I thought at least he'd get mad at like Zac Efron's character
Yeah.
about like what are you trying to do with my sister.
Yeah. Cause
That's
he's
what I
a
thought.
White guy trying to date a black girl in the 1800s. So
Yeah.
not
Sure.
good.
Not-
Another Romeo and Juliet.
Kind of, but not as tragic.
No. Well, almost.
Almost. Well, yeah.
Because they literally sing a whole song about it. They're like, rewrite the stars. If we could be together, we'd have to, rewrite the stars.
True.
Change reality.
Have you seen this movie? Oh,
What? It's really good.
it's good.
I listened to the soundtrack.
What do you think of the soundtrack?
Fucking amazing, bro. This Is
Yeah.
Me makes me cry sometimes.
This is
Really?
Never enough. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It's good songs.
Yeah.
I just really like Rewrite the Stars.
Now that I think about it,
I listen to that song unironically.
I performed 2 of the songs.
Which ones?
Because we did Rewrite the Stars, and then we also did From Now On.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
In the movie, I like the staging of the what's the name of the song when Hugh Jackman's trying to recruit Zac Efron?
Yes!
Shit!
That one's so good. Oh my god, I was
Holy-
hoping you were gonna say that.
What's the name of it?
Oh my god. To
The Other Side. The Other Side.
I had to like sing it for a second.
Bro, you scared the shit out of me.
Because I was literally sitting here thinking, I was like, is he gonna say the song with all
It's a
the
good song.
alcohol tossing
It's good.
and stuff?
Well, maybe that's why I like it.
No, because it's so cool,
It's
though.
good. It's a great staging. It also goes back to like the classics of like the ones we talked about earlier, just like little things that they would do, like moving the shot glass from side to side, doing shit with the chairs, the bar stand and everything. And also how in the movie that bar comes back.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought that was really cool. Really fun movie. Who wrote the songs for this?
I don't know.
Was it the Dear Evan Hansen guys? Or did the Dear
Pasek
Evan...
and Paul? No.
Did the Dear Evan Hansen director... Or did the director of this direct Dear Evan Hansen?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. One thing that I know about The Greatest Showman that's more like trivia than anything else.
Say
is,
it.
So do you know who Jeremy Jordan is?
No.
You know who Jeremy Jordan is?
I
Okay.
know.
So Jeremy Jordan is like a pretty big wig guy on Broadway. He was in the last 5 years, the movie adaptation.
So good.
Yeah. He also, I think he recently played Seymour in Little Shop of Horrors.
Probably.
He was also in Supergirl, the TV show.
He was also in Newsies.
He was
Wait.
Yeah, so he was the original Jack
Who was
Kelly.
he in Supergirl?
He was like the nerdy guy that had a crush on her. I think he left.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
Jeremy Jordan.
okay.
He was
The
also
son
in
of the
Tangled
toy
TV
maker?
show.
I didn't watch much of Supergirl, but I definitely know who she's talking about.
Oh my god, you're right. It was Pasek and Paul. I'm so sorry. So anyway, so he like originally showed up at the auditions and stuff for like Zac Efron's character.
Oh.
And he did all these things, and they kept like inviting him back to sing with more people, and he basically was under the impression that he got the part. And then Zac Efron showed up, and then they were like, well, Zac Efron's gonna get butts and seats. And so Jeremy Jordan was pushed out for Zac Efron.
I think Zach did a good job in the role.
I don't think he did a bad job. I just think it's unfortunate that, like...
It's unfortunate, but I guess it's the thing of, like...
Jeremy Jordan's also, like, not that... Well, like, Zac Efron isn't much better looking than Jeremy Jordan.
No. I
But
think
people
Jeremy Jordan's
know
hotter.
his name.
Right. People,
And, like, you also get, like, that High School Musical crowd
Yeah.
that, like, oh, he's back in
Oh,
musicals?
my God,
I think it's
bro.
also
I'm
one of
not
those
saying...
things-
I know, but, like, you're right in that.
Jeremy
that
Jordan
shit
also
out of
is
it.
older a little bit. Like, he's in his 30s, and Zach is still kind of
He looks young.
Yeah,
and so
he
he
does.
looked
He acts
better.
and looks young.
He looked better next to Zendaya than I think Jeremy Jordan would have. But it is
I think
unfortunate.
anyone would look better next to Zendaya. Like, she's drop dead gorgeous.
But, like, there's still... You can find the versions of Jeremy Jordan singing those songs, and he's so phenomenal.
Okay.
He also... I feel like the one thing... Because you have TikTok, right?
Yes.
You know the sound where it's like, and I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. You don't know that? Okay, well,
My
maybe,
TikTok's fucked.
Maybe I'm just on a niche side of TikTok.
You
Well, he
are.
was in that, so...
Alright. Hamilton.
Yes.
Okay, I want to say this. I have only seen the Disney Plus version of this.
That's fine. I mean, that's the Broadway version.
It is. So I don't know if any of you've seen, like, the actual... You went to go see this?
Yeah, I never saw it on Broadway, but I saw it when it came to Omaha.
Do you want to talk about your experience?
So, okay, so part of the thing about seeing something as popular as Hamilton is you're so used to the way that people sound, because you only listen to the soundtrack, like, over and over and over again, that even though I don't inherently think that Lin-Manuel Miranda is the best vocalist, it was very strange seeing someone that wasn't Lin-Manuel Miranda. And it was also weird because I felt like he wanted to be Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh.
and so
Isn't
the-
everyone?
Yeah, and so the guy who
I
played
do.
Hamilton just
I do.
was strange.
I wish I could sing like that.
I think otherwise the cast was really, really good. My seats were kind of butt though. So like, I feel like I would take the Disney version as often as I can.
Mhm.
But if I could ever see it again, I would. I just want to get better seats.
Because the Disney version, I believe, is what they do with most musical, or like recordings of musical.
Yeah, it's a pro shot.
What?
It's a pro shot. So a pro shot is just a professionally shot like version of a musical that is then released for mass audiences. So there's like a whole website you can go to for legal pro shots of musicals. You have to pay for it, which I don't want to do, but I might one day. And so instead of watching like an illegal bootleg, you can watch it professionally and it actually looks good.
Okay, I didn't know that, but all right. What they do is they do like 2 shows that they just cut in between. So they just like whatever take they like best out of like certain songs, they'll just use that take.
They might.
That's
I
what
don't
I've
really
heard.
know- I don't really know the techniques that they use for pro shots. I know that...
That makes the
yeah.
most sense because if there's like something that like didn't work, they have footage to use.
Yeah.
Besides the point, I really did like the play. It's really fucking good. I thought I was gonna run into the situation where it was like everybody was talking the hell up about Hamilton. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. That when I went to actually sit down and watch it, I was really afraid that I wasn't gonna like it just because of the hype. I really enjoyed it. I don't listen to the soundtrack as much. However, if someone were to like put on the songs, I would be like, oh, this song, I like this song.
I guess it's fair that you don't listen to the soundtrack as much because it is like 42 songs, which is kind of a lot.
How many?
42-ish, give or take. Well, because Hamilton isn't like a musical in the sense of there's talking and dialogue, it's just music. And so a traditional musical will have like 13 to 20 songs, and Hamilton has like 40.
Uh-huh. And I think like this is the only play that like I'm glad that they don't want to do like a movie adaptation of.
I just want to see the point.
I don't either. One, the idea of like, because like Hamilton was raised in Porter. Where was he raised?
No, he's oh my gosh, where is
Because he's an immigrant. Well, they're all technically immigrants at that time.
But he's not a white immigrant.
Yeah. Besides the point, like, I like the idea of what the show represents about, like, because I heard a quote that he was getting tired of, like, always playing, like, the ethnic best friend or just never have seen roles for people that look like him. So he just decided instead of casting historically correct, he just casted people that would be able to do the performance right. And also because, like, I love the guy who plays George Washington.
Yeah.
What's his name? David Diggs.
David Diggs.
Thank you. My bad.
You were really close.
I know, but he's so great as the both of his characters. He plays as Thomas Jefferson and Lafayette.
Yeah, because the thing about Hamilton is, now that we've aged a little bit out of it, it is strange to think about historically white people who did own slaves then being played by black people. But Broadway is so white.
It is.
Also,
like, if they were to do I'm going to say gimmick of, like, just people of color play these historical characters and doing the singing and all that, on stage, it's different because it's all about the performance and the extravagance of it all.
Yeah.
On a movie screen,
it just wouldn't be.
It would definitely kind of, like, take you out about, like, okay, I see what you're doing, but, like, maybe not. It'd just be weird.
Well, it's also a lot of, like, because he pulls from, like, you know, people of color cultures, so, like, it's a lot of rap music and stuff like that.
I will say I like the idea of how the music is done, of, like, the faster the rap proves the amount of intelligence you have. So the people that are, like, really, like, getting into it, that shows that they're the smartest. And, like, characters that, like, say that Leslie Odom Jr. plays, he's smart, but he can't really flow that fast as other people, or he struggles with his rhymes and his rap all that much, but, like, he's just no Hamilton, who can, like, spit it, like, really go fast with it. Do you have any points to say about Hamilton?
No. What?
Did you see this?
No.
Oh,
what?
I listened to the soundtrack.
Do you have anything to say about the soundtrack?
It's Hamilton, bro. Like, that shit's phenomenal. Say No to This is probably my favorite song.
I really like, oh my gosh, what's it? One Last Time. One Last Time.
Where's that in the play?
That's the one where George Washington's like, I'm not going to run for president again.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. I don't know the names of any of these songs because, again, 42 of them, and, like, I love the Eye of the Hurricane moments. That shit looks great on stage.
I really like the end when Hamilton and Burr are dueling, and then we get, like, Burr's perspective of it, of, like, now he's the villain, and, like, he was just a guy, but history treats him like a villain because he's the guy that shot Hamilton.
Yeah.
And they were once friends, and then they just weren't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's really, really good, and it honestly makes me really emotional for Aaron Burr, who is probably actually a shitty guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think anyone ever is a truly good person.
Yeah.
I just think, like, how people write about them basically defines, like, how people see them in the future.
Hamilton also kind of started this, like, new wave of historical musicals, because now you've got stuff like Six, You've got the Anastasia musical, which is kind of different in its own right, but like it's still.
Do you want to talk about the Anastasia one now? We're gonna move
Yeah.
into like more animated stuff so that we could give Shelldyn something to talk about.
Thanks, man.
So the Anastasia musical is first kind of loosely based off of the Anastasia movie, which technically isn't a Disney movie, but people like to say that it is.
It is a Don Bluth Fox movie that was made to look like a Disney movie.
I think it's prettier than Disney movies.
Because of Don Bluth. His
It's a
animation
gorgeous
team is fucking incredible. If you've ever seen like
Yeah.
Land Before Time, Five Full Goes West, Great American Tail, all of them movies, such beautiful animation, and that goes into Anastasia.
Yeah.
I just think like I'll just talk about the movie real quick.
Yeah.
I just think that it's kind of edited bad. That's it. And like there's just a lot of elements that just are a bit weird, but like I think the music is really good.
Music's great. I love it.
And yeah, and I would like to see. I think you're going to talk about like an adaptation of Anastasia that works.
Well, okay, because Anastasia is obviously like a story about the lost Russian princess Anastasia.
Which did you ever talk about on your show?
No.
Do you want to plug your show real quick?
So I have a show called Today in History. So if you don't know, I really like history. I've like hinted about Anastasia in my show, but I've never found like a spot to be like, this is what happened. I did talk about her dad a little bit in like the fall of the Russians, but basically what
The
happened.
Romanovs.
Yeah, the Romanovs. Yeah, sorry, I said Russians. The fall of the Romanov Empire, which then leads to like, the Bolsheviks take over and all these things.
Yeah.
And now we have communism in Russia. But it's so much more complicated than that. But at the time,
No.
so a lot of people thought that Anastasia survived. It was like this huge thing. You have dozens upon dozens of impersonators, and one that actually does really, really well, whose name is slipping my mind. But basically, everyone thought she was alive. And so then that musical comes, not the musical,
The movie.
but the movie comes into play of like, if Anastasia survived, where was she all these years and what happened? And then you have Rasputin, who...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I don't like Rasputin as a dude, but like, I wouldn't say that he's a villain, but in the movie he's like a villain.
In history?
Yeah, he's like a complicated guy. It's complicated. It's history.
Okay, alright. I mean, I did say the quote earlier, but then there's also like, that dude was kind of, alright.
He also has a 13-inch cock.
He
I'm
does.
not impressed.
You can look at it online.
I don't want to see it.
I've seen it.
It's in a museum.
It's not appealing.
But anyway.
I don't think that would be. I'd just be like,
But it's
It
like
was.
it also looks like an elephant trunk.
Anyway, so Rasputin is like the villain.
didn't he like drown or like froze to death or something?
Okay. So since you're gonna say that, I need to say, so Rasputin couldn't fucking die.
Yeah.
This bitch wouldn't go down. They shot him. They poisoned him. Nothing fucking worked. They drowned him. They threw him into a frozen lake, and when they found his body was reaching upwards, implying that he was still fucking alive for at least a good enough amount of time to try and get out of the frozen lake. It's scary. Bro wouldn't die. And that's kind of what the movie plays off of. They think Rasputin's dead, but he's not.
Yeah, he's like in hell or something like
it's
that,
like
influencing
that purgatory
shit.
thing. Because he basically sold his soul for magic. So, and he wants to
That sounds
destroy...
like Rasputin.
He wants to destroy the Romanov family, and he thinks that they're all dead, but Anastasia isn't. She's been living as Anya, and so she meets these two guys, Dmitri and Vlad, who want to get out of Russia and get the money that her grandmother is, raising to try and, bring her. So, if you can bring Anastasia to her, she'll give you this award money, which was real. She was giving out award money trying to find Anastasia. And so they bring Anya, who's actually Anastasia, but they don't know that she's actually Anastasia. They're
Doesn't
just
she have like
pretending.
amnesia or something?
Yeah, she
like
has
that?
amnesia.
And
But then-
movie amnesia.
And then she slowly starts to remember things, and they're like, whoa, I didn't teach you that. And then, of course, there's also, Dmitri and Anya, Anastasia are going to fall in love. And
Of
it's
course.
beautiful. And then there's this epic showdown between her and Rasputin, and it's really good.
You also got a talking bat.
Yes! Oh my
Bartok
God.
the bat.
I love
You
Bartok.
get her
Um,
little dog companion. I think my problem with Anastasia is that he was forced to make a Disney movie where he doesn't really like drawing or making human characters that much. So it's interesting. I mean, they're great designs. It's just that he doesn't want to be drawn. You can kind of tell he doesn't want to be drawing stuff like this.
That's fair.
I don't know. I just got that. But, like, I love the staging. I love the backgrounds of the movie. Like, unlike Disney, where they try to... Sometimes they get, like, really interesting watercolor backgrounds, but I love the oil painting style of these backgrounds.
It's really, really pretty.
But, yeah, you want to talk about the music, so let's talk about the music.
They made the musical pretty recently. I think, like, 2017 is when it started. And it's inspired by the movie, but the plot's a little bit different because they wanted to make it more modern and appreciated by all audiences rather than a child audience.
Fair.
And it's kind of harder to present magic on stage.
Yeah.
And so instead, the villain is the Bolsheviks, and they're trying to...
Is Rasputin in it?
No.
Oh, at all?
No, but
okay.
they do something really interesting. So Rasputin has, like, this song in the movie called Dark of the Night, where it's all about him saying, like, in the dark of the night, like, I'll kill her, I'll find her. And it's, like, surprisingly beautiful the way it's, like, written. And so then they use Dark of the Night to instead change it into this song called Stay, Let Me Pray You, or whatever. And it's all about the people of Russia being forced to leave their home because of, like, the change and all these things, especially, like, the royals, like, fleeing, trying to survive. And so it's them singing this song of, like, this is my home, like, I love it here, but I can't stay, it's too dangerous. And so they're like, I remember all these things, I remember the water and the trees and the snow. And it's so beautiful and tragic, hearing all these characters sing about this home that they love, but have to leave for, like, their own safety. And then one of, like, the main characters who's singing it is, like, a distant relative of Anastasia. And so when he sees her, he's like, you look so familiar. Like, I know who you are. But she doesn't even know who she is yet. But then later, like, while they're on the train, the soldiers come in and, like, are looking for people, and they find him and kill him. And so his, like, last song is, like, the Let Me Pray You. And it's just so beautiful and such an interesting way to take a villain song and then turn it into, like, you know, this tragedy.
So how do they change it?
Do
they just, like, keep the melody or,
yeah,
like, the notes and
is
everything,
this,
like, but just change the lyrics?
Yeah, the lyrics are different, and it's like a lower key.
Okay.
And so with the musical, the villain is of course real people. I particularly don't like the villain in the musical as much. I think it's one of those things where circumstance can just as easily be the villain, and that you didn't really need a villain in Anastasia, the way that they did it in the musical.
Her trying to, like, figure out who she is
is like, you know,
her own mind is her competition, or, like...
Exactly. And that creates enough conflict. And it was weird, because basically it was this thing where his dad was supposedly in the firing squad that killed the Romanovs, and so he's like, I know she can't be alive, because my father would never lie, and my father was a good man, but his father, like, ends up killing himself after the fact, because, like, he's so racked with guilt. The villain goes through all these things where he's like, if my father was a good man, why did he kill children? Like, they were my age and all these things. And then he falls in love with her. And I'm just like, why? Why? It's so weird that he falls in love with her. And it doesn't add anything, but it's such a good musical. Otherwise, I just usually skip the villain songs, and there's only, like, 2 or 3. There's, like, one song that's not a villain song, but he's in it, and that's it.
Okay. I would say I would like to give it a watch. Is it still going around?
So, illegally, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Your Honor. Got him.
I've seen it legally. But the thing about...
that backtracking.
So, the touring production cut my favorite song, which is Crossing a Bridge, which is all about, like, Anya. So, there's a bridge in Paris that's named after her grandfather, like Nicholas III, and it's a beautiful bridge. I've been there. Flex. But, so, it's all about her, like, crossing this bridge and finally connecting with her past, and I think it's such an important moment for the character. And they cut it from the touring production, so you'll never see it again.
Okay.
So it's only in the recorded version. That being said, Christy Altamere and Derek Klena, who play Anya and Dimitri, have such amazing chemistry, and Derek Klena actually looks like real-life Dimitri. It's honestly crazy.
Okay.
So we can move on while
All
I
right.
pull up a picture.
Oh, we're going to be moving on to, like, Disney stuff now. Because, like, Disney was definitely a part of a lot of our childhood. Especially, like, bringing musicals into, like, fashion kind of back in the 90s, or the Disney Renaissance of the 90s to early 2000s. And yeah, Shelldyn, you wanted to talk about one of your favorite Disney musicals, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's like if it has a Broadway version. Does Hercules?
I think they're working on it.
Okay.
I think they actually just did like a casting.
What I know about anything with Hercules right now is that the Russo brothers, aka the directors of like Infinity War, Endgame, Captain America films, they are wanting to do a Hercules movie. You know how Disney's remaking a lot of their old
Yeah.
90s stuff? They're wanting to do a Hercules movie, but instead of like at the time the original Hercules came out, of like it was poking fun at like celebrities of that time, so like the big like NBA stars and like all the merchandising and stuff. They're more looking at it from like an influencer kind of thing, and I don't know how that's gonna work. They specifically said like the TikTok generation.
Yeah.
So I'm really kind of like, okay, because the whole point, like, I'm gonna let you talk about Hercules in just a second, but like the whole point of it was like it's poking fun at celebrity, and like down to like the sandals and shoes that they wear. I think, yeah, but I want you to talk about Hercules.
Well,
'Cause I definitely have a favorite character in that movie.
hmm.
You want to guess?
Is it like the little goat man?
Yeah, Phil.
Hades.
Hades is.
I fucking love.
Hades
He's my
is a good
favorite
one.
Disney villain.
He is
'Cause
he is very funny in that movie.
You're wearing his merch.
It sounds like the Hercules musical is in production hell right now.
Of course.
But it does exist, and they did just release like a sort of cast for a live. I think it's more like a live concert rather than a musical.
Okay, so it's not like a
That's-
performance;
that's
it's just the
somehow
songs.
worse.
All right, but Hercules.
Hercules follows the story of Hercules. He is he was born on Olympus, but Hades is like jealous of him, so he like kind of steals the baby away from Zeus. While stealing him, what kind of happened? They like
They
tried
took
to
his-
mishandle. Immortal.
yeah they try to turn him mortal. It doesn't work.
They turned him into kind of a demigod.
Yeah.
Because
in a
he's
way.
mostly mortal, but not like fully, so he
still-
still has his strength.
He has his strength. Like
He still
they,
retains his godlike strength. So
Yeah.
thank his law. He still. I'm sorry. The Gospels are probably my favorite part of this movie. They were initially.
Are they the fates or the god? What are
The
Fate-
fates are different from the Gospels.
Oh, yeah, never mind. The fates are the ones with the one eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fun.
The Gospels originally weren't supposed to be like 3 singing black women. They were supposed to be just like storytellers.
Aren't there
and
5
like
of them?
I don't think so.
I thought there were 5 of them.
Is it?
There's like
5
more
or
than 3 at least, maybe 4.
I think there's 5.
There's like all of different
Because
shapes.
there's one that's like definitely the main,
Yeah.
and then the others.
Yeah, I love the way this movie starts with like a Charlton Heston like epic narration, and then all of a sudden like you just get the Gospels.
Bro, they're
Really fun.
It's like, you go, girls.
they're
Yeah.
really good singers.
Yeah.
Very talented.
I don't want to do any imitation because I don't want to be racist.
Oh no, it's like also like you can't really hold a candle, bro.
No,
Like,
I wouldn't be able to.
So-
Then I'm not gonna try.
Well, and the Gospels are so funny too. Like, there's this
They are.
part where
Oh,
she's
there is
like,
5 of them, yeah.
she's like, Hercules, honey, you mean Huncules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very comedic too.
Hades.
Really, yeah. Really good music. Like, I Won't Say I'm in Love.
That's a great
Go the
song.
Distance.
Okay, but also it has like such adult jokes that you don't understand unless you understand. Because like he's like, they see Oedipus or whatever, and they're like, and he's like, wow, and I thought my family was bad.
Oh my.
I forgot about that.
I didn't
I didn't get that one. I think like that movie didn't appeal to me as much as a kid because I just was like, all right, I mean it's fun, but like I don't get a lot of these jokes. Like
Yeah.
Phil is funny-ish, but like I don't
You
get it.
definitely got to be older to like
Oh,
find
yeah.
jokes
To like Phil.
funny.
Like the older you get, the more you appreciate Hades, which sounds weird, but you know what I mean.
I
Yeah.
like Hades. The only thing, and I would say that this is like a Disney overall thing, is they have such a weird array of like oddly flamboyant, probably gay villains, and it's so strange. Because you've got Hades, you've got Dr. Facilier, you've
Scar.
got Ursula, Scar. Like,
Well, Ursula was based
inspired
on
by a drag
queen.
queen. So yeah,
But-
it just adds to that list. But Hades is definitely gay. Like he's homosexual. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, Hades is gay.
All right.
Now,
I-
I can't
I
talk about
mean-
the actual god Hades. I'm talking, like,
He probably was.
the movie.
Bro, the Olympic gods fucked anything that walked.
Yeah, ancient Greece was crazy.
Yeah.
Ancient Greece was
I mean,
wild.
Hercules' dad and his mom are siblings.
Let's not talk about Zeus. Zeus
Zeus was
was a wild guy.
the behind the scenes of this movie where they were talking about why they casted James Woods as Hades is because they were originally going to go for like a old classic devil kind of thing, but then they were like, what if we made him like an old Jewish car salesman? And they were like, how funny would that be? And then James Woods was just like, I think I know what you're going at here. And then he just like started like ad-libbing and like really talking fast, you know, like how a devil would be about like kind of like really wanting to worm you into like, hey, why do you do this? His outbursts are my favorite.
I really
They're
like Pain
funny.
and Panic, too.
They're funny. They're really funny.
Every villain needs like two like
Side-
kind of idiotic like side.
yeah,
side
Scar
people.
had the hyenas.
Yeah.
Jafar had. Fuck, why am I good?
Jafar had the bird.
The
That was
fucking.
played by,
Gilbert Godfrey.
Godfrey.
Yeah.
I love Gilbert Godfrey.
Wow, why not you?
Oh, the two evils.
Well, speaking of Aladdin and Jafar and stuff like that, that's my favorite Disney musical. I love.
Did you like the movie, the newer movie, or the Robin Williams?
I will always love the original. However,
I like them.
the
The
new
new
one
one's really
is pretty good. I like
do
it.
the-
I thought the casting was good, too.
I did too. I like
was-
Mina Masad as Aladdin. I
I'm
like
not gonna lie, I was a little unsure about
Will Smith.
Will Smith being a genie.
I was too, only because, and the reason why I love the original Aladdin is because Robin Williams will always have a place in my heart,
Right.
and he
funny,
can sing,
yeah.
and like they could not put this movie up for best original screenplay at the Oscars because of Robin Williams ad-libbing, because all the best lines were not in the script.
So, I will say, though, I think Will Smith brings, like, his own energy.
I've-
He didn't try to be Robin Williams.
That's what I
Yeah.
really like about it, that he just brought his Will Smith charm. Isn't a trying to impersonate Robin Williams, and I think that's the best thing because every other character in that movie is trying to still be like the original Aladdin. So like Mina Masad as Aladdin is trying to be like that boyish charm that was in the original movie. You gotta help me out with the Jasmine actress.
Oh my gosh.
I only know that she was the Pink
Naomi
Power
Scott.
Ranger. Thank you.
She was also in Lemonade Mouth.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright. I thought all the actors were good. Actually, no. I have one big problem with the recent Aladdin movie. Their Jafar sucked. That Jafar was dog shit.
I liked him.
Is that the
but-
guy that like all the girls like, oh, he's so hot that I looked at him and I was like,
Yeah.
Bro, he had a moment where he had like evil laugh. He got the lamp, and he has this evil laugh where his like eyes go wide and he does like a and I was just like, bro, I laughed. I was like, that looked bad. And I was like, oh man. I do appreciate that they tried to like mostly Middle Eastern cast
Yeah.
for this. However, it was really weird that they tried to go for somewhat of a Bollywood aesthetic. That's at least what I got.
I
The
kind of
imp-
liked it.
I liked it, but I was like, are you just like assuming that because it's brown, it's all the same? I was like, that's a bit weird. I don't know how I feel about that.
I think it was more just to go for that, like,
Hyper real.
yeah.
I get it, but I was also like,
It's like a stylistic choice. I
it
think.
is. It's just like, I don't know. It just kind of bothered me because it just seemed like they were just trying to copy the aesthetic without understanding the culture around the aesthetic
Yeah.
because it's two completely different cultures.
I think the costuming is beautiful.
That I will
I
agree.
don't know how culturally or historically accurate it is.
Well,
but I
here's the
think it's
problem
okay.
is that they hired Guy Ritchie. And if you know anything about Guy Ritchie, he directs movies like The Gentleman, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. He was married to Madonna at one point, and he directed a bunch of her music videos. So he has a way to direct music. However, he's a gruff British gangster film loving director. But I don't understand why they thought having that guy direct a Middle Eastern family musical would be a good idea. I don't know. Because I was like, okay, maybe he might bring a little bit more grit to the fact that, hey, Aladdin was a street kid. He knows a little bit about British streets, I guess, but like they don't go that angle in the movie. So I was like, so what's the point? of like getting this director, because just hire an actual Middle Eastern director to do this. I don't know. That was just my gripe with the new movie.
That's the thing, is that even though we're seeing a lot more people of color on the screen, we're not seeing as many behind the scenes.
If the guys who helped directed the new Ms. Marvel TV show had their hands on this live action Aladdin, the movie would have been a lot better. Because I like their style, and they're Middle Eastern. They know how to direct a Middle Eastern style in a really cool way. If they do anything with, like, because I heard they were going to do an Aladdin sequel, because the movie made a lot of money, but I would prefer them do the story of him and his dad before they do Return of Jafar. Yeah. Because this musical episode, I do love the music in both versions. For different reasons, though.
Yeah.
I would prefer, with Friend Like Me, I like the original. With Prince Ali, I like the new one.
Yeah, I like it.
Because I feel like with the new one, I like the added Will Smith, like, hip-hop-isms
Yes.
of it, where he, like, towards the end, where he kind of gets the crowd going and doing, like, a little bit of a lean with it. With the crowd, I was like, that's kind of cool.
They also have a brand new song for Princess Jasmine that
I
love.
do like that song. That's a good song. It is a bit weird because it's immediately undercut by her getting captured. Which I was like, cool for, like, I get where you're coming from with, like, the empowerment of this character. However, you kind of undercut it a little too quick for me. So I'll say I like the new movie. I like the scenes when the genie is freed. I think the Will Smith version brings a bit more of a... I like that version of it because you really see the pain in his eyes of that he is trapped. Where, because I guess like Robin Williams was animated, you can't really get that as much as with a Will Smith version. So I like that. I think they're both good for their reasons. I just prefer the original, one, because of nostalgia, and two, I just think it's a better, well-constructed, tight film.
I think it's one of those things where it didn't need a remake, but for what we got, it's not bad.
You know why they did it, though. Money.
I think it's one of the better Disney remakes.
I really like Jungle Book.
I didn't see it.
It's good, but not a musical. But well,
Yeah, it is.
in the remake, they just do 2 songs. They do the Bare Necessities for like a little bit, and then they do King Willie, the orangutan.
Yeah.
They do his song because it's.
And they didn't even make Mulan a musical.
We don't talk about Mulan. Are you guys looking forward to the new Little Mermaid movie?
I am.
I am too. After that little teaser trailer, I'm really looking forward to it.
I think it's one of those things where, again, we didn't need one.
No.
But if we're going to get one, like, I'm glad that they're making it its own thing.
Yeah.
Rather than, like, just trying to recreate what they already had. Because that's the thing that Aladdin does, is they, like, made it its own thing. A little bit.
A little bit. Like, I think Mulan was definitely trying to make themselves its own unique thing.
Poorly.
Very poorly, and, like, again, going back to what we said about, like, hiring the wrong people for that job. But with this new Little Mermaid movie, they're hiring a director who knows how to direct musicals. I forgot the name of him, but he directed the recent Mary Poppins movie. And I think the casting is good, because, admittedly, I was a little, like, oh, they casted Halle Bailey? Or what is
Halle
it?
Bailey, yeah.
Halle Bailey. And I was like, oh, all right. That's different. But that one teaser trailer that they released of that little clip of Part of Your World immediately changed my mind. Because I was like, oh, wow, that's actually really good. I know she's like a pop singer.
Yeah.
That was actually, like, it was really sweet. It brought me back to when I saw Little Mermaid as a kid. So I'm looking forward to it. I think, like, me and Shelldyn had an argument about what's the best Little Mermaid song. I say it's Kiss the Girl. He says...
Poor unfortunate souls.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know what my favorite is. What I think is going to be interesting is the new Wicked movie. Mostly because I think Ariana Grande is a strange casting choice. Well, because she started on Broadway, but she's so far deviated from anything like that I just don't know how it's going to be.
Also, I don't think she's the best actress, but okay.
That's valid.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right. I think we're going to wrap it up. This was the musical special. I'm not going to sing this out. My voice hurts. This has been $1 Million Media. I've had with me,
Katie?
Shelldyn.
and I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun recording it. If you're listening to us on Wave Radio, please keep listening to other shows on Wave Radio. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and share. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please give us a follow and share all of our other episodes with as many people as you know. Please also follow us on all of our social medias. Our Instagram is $1 Million Media Reviews. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy and have a good day.